going on, you guys? My name is Rage and we are back with the part 2 of my Dark Dimension 4 preparation videos in terms of previewing the characters I'm hoping to bring into the nodes playthrough. In this video, we're going to talk about the city characters as well as the legendary, as in my part 1. I'll put in the link in the description below if you guys haven't checked it out. It is mainly about the global and cosmic characters I'm planning to bring, but you can see here I have actually the 5 characters in the city here really being the staple, and honestly speaking, not a lot of characters can actually beat them yet, so I am hoping to bring in the symbiote roster, as you can see up here, and go through and show you guys which ones I am prioritizing. So symbiote Spider-Man, I do already have him at level 80 ready to go here. I've slowly been leveling him up, and for him it's due to the fact that in Dark Dimension 4, you know, he's going to provide that drain for his team to be able to kind of effectively give them the health drain as well as heal them. Symbiote Spider-Man also has a very handy stun that can also slow all the rest of the enemies for 2 turns. And on top of that, his special is much appreciated as they can actually extend the negative conditions by 1 for the enemies, and that really does work hand in hand with the symbiote roster. So for sure, he's guaranteed to be in just because he's going to be core in terms of being able to provide that supplementation and healing. Next, I am hoping to bring in Anti-Venom as well because of the fact that first, he has that revive, bringing back his symbiote roster as well. He provides a lot of supportive capabilities, really being able to reverse the negative conditions on the enemies and really turning it into our advantage, such as defense down on them will turn to defense up, and just some overall sustained and healing, and that's really good. Works hand in hand with Symbiote Spider-Man, so I definitely think the synergy's there. A lot of the argument is going to be about which symbiote characters will you likely want to bring in, because the conflict of biomaterial, the conflict of alien spores, and just being able to get enough materials to really level them all up. I had Carnage utilized as well in my Dark Dimension 3, and it was actually these 3 that pushed me forward in the city nodes. For Carnage here, you can see level 75, but the nice thing about Carnage is the fact that he has a passive here that really allows the symbiote roster to shine, especially when the enemy drops below that threshold. Not only can he heal, but also gives them that speed up bar, really giving us more attacks and really being able to kind of fuel the damage on the team. So I'm hoping to bring in Carnage as well. His gear is it's not expensive, but it's also not cheap, so it's kind of like in between the center there. A lot of players will have to decide whether or not they want to bring in Carnage. This is the one that many players will likely drop. For me, I haven't decided, but he's so far right now in my tentative plan, and for sure I'll keep you guys posted once I know. Next, Venom here is actually not leveled up to what I want to bring him up, but he's actually the most costly in terms of not only just the materials, but the amount of investment I'm gonna have to do on Venom is actually going to be the biggest out of the 5 characters. But the reason why a lot of players may consider bringing him on board is because of the fact that he has that passive here where you can see that he applies a defense up for 2 turns. Especially if his health threshold meet the requirements. The other thing too is the fact that there's a notable node in the city Dark Dimension 4 that I'm sure a lot of players have already seen it, but it's the one with Emma Frost, where essentially she is constantly uses her abilities and her resistance just makes it impossible to kill. And the reason we want to bring on Venom potentially is having that ability block then just to really stop Emma Frost from utilizing her abilities, and that gives the team the opportunity to actually take her down. So the only downside with this is that for this to actually stick, we actually need another character to synergize with Venom, and that's going to actually be Scream here. Reason being is Scream's abilities here, passive, she actually does give the symbiote roster an extra negative 30% resistance. So I mean, by having this combined with Venom, that's the main reason Scream's brought on board, because in order to do anything to Emma Frost, especially in that one node I mentioned, we got to be able to actually apply our abilities on her. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense if none of the negative conditions stick. So I mean, that's the reason why it's so difficult to actually decide right now between the 5. But if I were to give you guys 4 right now, I would say Symbiote Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, Carnage, and Scream will probably be the first 4 for me. Venom is just so expensive, and I'm going to have to see where my gear is by the time I get to the city notes, but I'll definitely keep you guys posted, and you'll see my playthrough and guides. But really, that's the overview right there, right now, for the symbiote and who I'm hoping to bring. Moving into now the legendary characters, the first 4 I do want to talk about is, you know, obvious one is going to be Ebony Maw here at the start. He brings on a lot of defensive capabilities for the roster, having not only a defense up, offense down, thanks to his special, but as well, his Force Transfusion ability actually allows the entire team to heal, and it scales with the health percentage of the enemy. So this really brings your health all the way back from brink of death to fully healed. So that's why it's really huge to have this ability. On top of that, it does bypass the heal block, so we don't even need to worry about that negative condition. Ebony Maw, because of that, is an absolute must for the legendary playthrough. Next, another key consideration is going to be Phoenix for a couple reasons. First and foremost, you know, she offers that defensive capability for the roster. On top of that, she does some decent damage and also strips away positive buffs, thanks not only to her basic, but as well as her ultimate ability here, as you can see. And as well, on her death, she brings about Dark Phoenix. And the nice thing about Dark Phoenix is she just brings on a boatload of additional damage. You know, her vitality drain actually scales with the health percentage of the enemy, so you're taking away 20% health from all of them, especially in Dark Dimension where the health pools are so massive. This is really key. And as well, she has a really powerful ultimate ability that also clears positive effects with a gained 50,000% plus focus. So I mean, this almost never misses in terms of being able to strip away positive effects. That's essentially why I do believe that both Ebony Maw and Phoenix are must-haves, especially for these nodes. Now, the next two characters I'm definitely considering right now is going to be Jubilee. And main reason being for her is the fact that she's going to be able to apply some blind. She has a stun. She can really provide additional support for our roster, something that we're lacking right now, and the additional damage as well. And on top of that, with Jubilee, especially, I think this is a key thing, not only just being able to have additional damage and support, but you can see on her kill, she does actually spread negative conditions from the primary target to the other enemies. So if they were killed with, let's just say, a blind or even an offense down or defense down, this is definitely can be able to spread, and that really helps us, especially with our roster and being able to kind of have that sustainability. And then last but not least, I am actually also considering Dr. Octopus. And main reason for him is, again, he's going to have some supportive capabilities for our roster. Dr. Octopus has the opportunity to actually summon an extra Sinister 6, likely being Shocker, to soak up damage for us, giving regen to our team. On top of that, you can see that he also has the opportunity to actually extend negative conditions, and that's going to work hand in hand for us. He can flip positive effects to negative effects, which works in favor for us, as well as that opportunity, if it scales long enough, to actually extend it. And then last but not least, another beautiful thing about Dr. Octopus is the fact that, you know, he has that gain 10,000% resistance against offense down, so we're never going to get that. We also gain the resistance against it, so I mean, it's really good for the not only our overall roster, but just being able to prevent that situation from occurring, and really just providing an overall sustainability and healing for our team, and just making sure that we have multiple pieces to adapt to the situation. So in my opinion, those four are well balanced. We got some stuns, we got some blinds, we got sustainability. Another key consideration, in my opinion, is going to be, I've seen it from other players going through it, but is either Sherry or Invisible Woman, depending on the usage and as well as the materials. Main reason is because I actually utilized Shuri in my Dark Dimension 3, and you can see I built her up quite a bit. She was really nice, just being able to have the defense up, spreading energy for the rest of the roster, as well as having a nice heal. But she is going to conflict actually with Dr. Octopus and Tech Gear. So I mean, I got to be careful of that, but I'm leaning more towards Dr. Octopus just due to his versatility, both offensively and defensively. And last but not least, I've also seen Invisible Woman being utilized for defensive capabilities. She's got the offense down. She can also cleanse negative conditions, which is very nice. We don't actually have that on our roster currently. But the caveat on her is the fact that she does conflict directly with the symbiote roster for the biomaterials. So that's why I don't know if it's going to be feasible for a lot of players. But if you got the materials available, or perhaps maybe you didn't use the symbiote roster, you may have that potential bio gear to actually utilize. So that's my recommendations overall right now, you guys. So that's for both the city characters as well as legendary for my preview right now in terms of who I'm bringing. But I'll definitely keep you guys posted if there's any changes. Thank you as always for checking out my videos, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.